Am I the a-hole for not telling my partner that someone from my past reached out, even though nothing actually happened? Well, that's a little bit loaded. Let's jump into it.
The Bearded Take with Ethan X.
So I, 30 male, have been with my girlfriend, 28 female, for about 2 years. Our relationship has been good. No cheating, no major trust issues, nothing like that. Which is why this situation feels way bigger than it should be. About a month ago, I got a message from someone I used to be involved with. Not a full relationship, but definitely more than just casual. We ended things years ago, no drama, just went separate ways. The message was simple, just, hey, I know it's been a long time, but I saw something that reminded me of you. Hope you're doing well. That's it. No flirting, no weird tone, nothing inappropriate. I didn't respond right away, and honestly, I didn't think much of it at first. But then I caught myself rereading it, more than once. Not because I wanted anything to happen, but because it brought back memories. Eventually I replied, just something neutral. Hey, hope you're doing well too. It's been a while. And that could have been the end of it, but it wasn't. We ended up talking a bit more. Nothing crazy, just catching up. Life updates, where we're at now. And at no point did it turn flirty. No lines were crossed, at least not in the obvious sense. But here's the part I didn't tell my girlfriend, because in my head, I justified it. It felt harmless. It wasn't like I was hiding anything bad, and I didn't want to create an issue over something that didn't matter. So I just didn't mention it. And eventually, the conversation faded out. No big ending, it just stopped. I figured that was it. Done. Until last night. We were sitting on the couch, and I got a notification. My girlfriend happened to glance over, and she saw the name. She didn't recognize it, so she asked, "Who's that?" And in that moment, I hesitated. Not long, but long enough, and she caught it. So now she's asking more questions, and I tell her everything. I explain the message, the conversation, and she just goes quiet. Then she says, "So you've been talking to someone you used to be involved with and you didn't think to tell me?" I told her it didn't mean anything, that it was just catching up, that nothing inappropriate happened, and she said, "That's not the point." She said, "It's not about what was said. It's about the fact that I chose not to tell her, and now, from her perspective, it looks like I hid it." Which I guess I did, but I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong at the time. Now she's distant, short with me, and she said something that stuck. If it was really nothing, why didn't you just tell me? And I didn't have a good answer, because the truth is, I didn't fully know. Maybe I didn't want to deal with the conversation. Maybe I knew it would make her uncomfortable. Or maybe some part of me liked having that connection again, and I hate that I can't fully explain it. She asked me this morning, would you have told me if I didn't see the message? And I couldn't honestly say yes. That's when I realized this isn't about the messages anymore. It's about trust. So am I the a-hole for not telling her even if nothing actually happened? I mean, I'm not going to lie, it kind of sounds to me like it was a little bit more than just a casual thing if it had you going down memory lane that far and then kind of questioning your overall feelings about it. It wasn't really clear in the initial story how much time had gone by since the conversation started and finished and when the girlfriend found out about it. And I'm not trying to say that there's like this perfect amount of time that should go by for when you should tell your girlfriend about something like this, but it's definitely kind of fishy sounding that you kind of hid it in your mind, as you said. And so that has me wondering whether or not you felt like you could confidently tell your girlfriend that getting that message meant absolutely nothing to you. And maybe that's why you hesitated. But there's an update. So before we make too much of a judgment, let's see what that's all about. Things went in a direction I didn't honestly expect. After everything came out, things between us were tense. Not explosive, just quiet. Too quiet. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't accusing me of cheating. She was just distant. And honestly, that's worse. So a couple nights later, I told her we needed to actually talk this through. No dodging it, no minimizing it, just be real. At first, she didn't say much. Then she asked me something I wasn't ready for. She asked if she could see the messages, and I froze. Not because there was anything explicit in them, but because I knew what she'd see. Not cheating, but something. So I handed her my phone. She read through everything, slowly, didn't react much at first. Then she got to one message, and that's when everything changed. It was something I didn't think twice about when I sent it. My ex had said, "It's weird. Talking to you again feels easy, like no time passed." And I replied, "Yeah, I forgot how easy it was with you." At the time, it felt harmless, just nostalgia. But hearing it back, seeing it through her eyes, I understood immediately. She looked up at me and said, "Do you hear yourself?" And I didn't have an answer, because she was right. That wasn't just catching up. That was me leaning into something, even if I didn't fully realize it. Then she asked the question that pretty much ended everything. Be honest. If she had pushed it further, would you have stopped it? And I wanted to say yes. I really did. But I hesitated. And that hesitation said everything. She nodded. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just handed me my phone back and said, "I think I have my answer." And that night, she packed a bag. Not dramatically, not angry, just calmly. Before she left, she said something I can't get out of my head. "You didn't cheat, but you weren't protecting us either." And that's the part that stuck with me the most, because she's right. I didn't cross a clear line, but I also didn't respect the space that I was supposed to protect. I didn't tell her, I didn't shut it down early, and I didn't fully understand what I was opening the door to. She's staying with her sister now. We've talked a little, but nothing's resolved, just distance. And here's the part that makes this even worse. My ex reached out again after everything happened, and for the first time I didn't respond. Not because I didn't want to, but because now I understand what the conversation actually meant and what it cost me. So yeah, I didn't cheat. I didn't lie about what happened, but I still might have lost my relationship over something I convinced myself was nothing. And I'm starting to realize that might be exactly the problem. Yeah, it definitely sounds like we might have some unresolved leftover feelings with that one. And, maybe if that conversation didn't happen, we wouldn't have gone down memory lane and maybe that wouldn't have opened something back up. But it definitely sounds like something is still there. And it was enough for you to hesitate in telling your girlfriend because you weren't confident that you could tell her truthfully that there wasn't still something there. Unfortunately, this was the final update. There's no other context or events that happened here, but my hope would be that we can actually talk things through and hopefully figure out what our feelings actually meant. But we definitely crossed a line and definitely put the relationship at risk, which is a shame. But if you had to take that much time to convince yourself it was nothing, then it sounds like there was definitely something there and you really just had to dig deep to let it go. It's hard to say though. I mean, sometimes the heart does funny things, but for something that you described as being casual, it definitely sounds a little more than casual. I think I might have already said that, but the second update definitely confirmed that for me. And it definitely explains why you hesitated to tell your girlfriend. So the ultimate question is, are you the a-hole? And initially, I would definitely have to say yes, because I don't know. Again, I don't know how much time went by between the ending of the message and when it got discovered by your girlfriend, but clearly too much time, and it kind of blew up. And it could have gone way differently if you could have had a conversation with her confidently and something didn't pop up like you were hiding it. So yeah, definitely an a-hole. But who knows? Maybe with enough time and enough conversation, maybe it's savable, but you definitely need to be honest with yourself and you need to be honest with her. So that's my take. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Thanks for tuning in.